Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, we'll just leave COVID alone for a while. We've talked COVID all day today, but we can never talk enough about COVID because people are not paying enough attention.
Sadly
And
so.
like the advice from the UN said, it is a matter of life and death. Your decision whether you should go out at all, who you should be with, all those are now matters of life and death. Please take those things seriously. Wear your mask, wash your hands, sanitize your hands, well, either wash or sanitize, whichever you prefer. And keep your distance.
And ensure to tell people to do the same. Because, I mean...
Right. Right. So we have COVIDed enough for one day, excuse my language. Now let us move to Ebonyi State. Let us find out exactly what's been happening in Ebonyi. And I'm going to start with the postings we have seen on social media regarding some not so pleasant goings on, some security situation, and we're fortunate enough to have with us the Commissioner of Information, Mr. Oji Uchendu Oji. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good to see
Charlie,
you.
thank you so very much, and happy New Year.
Oji?
Uchenna Oji.
Yes. Oji Uchenna Oji. Thank you very much for coming this morning.
Thank you.
So let's start. We know that plenty of things have been happening in Ebonyi, but the one that's been in the news lately is a security situation. And the post, on social media is that Ebonyi State is having some issues with some herdsmen. How true is that?
Yeah, not at all for me and for Ebonyi State government. That is the only blackmail enemies of progress can go with. When that social media post came, reactions were made, one from the state government, one from the security agencies, and one from the National Association of, that is the MACBA, the Mietiala national body. And the reaction is that this is most unfounded, mendacious, just, fabricated to just paint the state government black. We have got no issue about chasing away Fulani herdsmen who are in Ebonyi State on their normal business. Mind you, over the years, even before the creation of Ebonyi State in 1996, we've had Fulani herdsmen, the normal persons, coming to do business in parts of Ebonyi State. Just like you have people of Ebonyi State and indeed Southeast going to do business in Lagos, in far north, far west. And so for us, it is just a mere distraction that has no capacity to really distract us. We are really focused. Our dear governor is focused. It's a bridge of unity. He believes in one Nigeria, in unity of purpose. We are living peacefully with the herdsmen who are in Ebonyi State. And we have several structures at the community level, local government level, and state level that does interface, or structures that interface with the herdsmen from time to time. At the state level, it is headed by the Honorable Attorney General of the state, where there are issues of misunderstandings, conflicts, crimes, they will be sorted out. We have existing laws which we made for the purpose of ensuring peaceful coexistence among one another. But I give it to the enemies. The only thing they can hold is the blackmail that we are maybe have not been with herdsmen, or we are chasing them away. Okay, so no more, no less.
Well, you know that saying, I don't even know the origin of it, that is African or not, that there is no smoke without fire. So what really happened? What gave rise to this, what you call this blackmail in the first place?
Yeah, what gave rise to it is that bid to look for nothing to tarnish the image of a performing government.
Are you saying that story is not true, that nothing happened in that guise at all?
Yeah, in the case of the latest social media post of allegedly a herdsman that was being chased away by the people of Ebonyi State, it is not in existence. What happened was that a herdsman who had stayed peacefully with the people of Ebonyi State had a reason to travel. He got a chieftaincy title in their place. I've forgotten the name of the state. And he had a reason out of the calling of his people to go back. And one mischief maker who actually might be hide under the cloak of political party, coloration, went to do, a speech behind that, an audio to say, we are chasing this man away. The voice, we couldn't see the person. The voice, of course, you see that it is a voice of a tout who was really, for pecuniary reasons,
How do touts sound?
drafted to do this. And, of course, the security agencies immediately swung into action, got the issues, chided them. The national body, particularly the national secretary, who is also my friend, also had to chide them. And this is most unfounded, mendaciously fabricated, just to give false impression. But they should know that the governor is not losing focus. His mind's eyes are on the ball on how to make Ebonyi the hub, economic hub of the Southeast. And the tempo is high. We're already cruising. So if I tell you about Ebonyi State, you will not appreciate the dimensions until you come to Ebonyi State. When you come, you will see that the testimony is just fantastic.
Well, the last time you were here, you told us plenty about it.
Ready to tell you more?
Yeah, so we've been talking a lot about COVID on the program today. So let me ask you, how is your government dealing with COVID in your state? Are people adhering to the safety protocols as recommended, the non-pharmaceutical ones, of course, the ones recommended by NCDC?
Yes, as you do know, COVID came to Nigeria, I think, in February. In March, every state was going to get a hit, so the governor had to take the bull by the horn by convening a Security Council meeting and rolling out a lot of regulations on how to tackle the menace of COVID-19. But to summarize the whole exercise in the first wave of COVID-19, the governor had to establish what is called Center of Excellence for COVID-19 treatment. And that is the first in the Southeast. Of course, we had virology center, so he had to convert it. It was not difficult for him to convert. Now, apart from that, the governor had to establish what we call observation centers in each of the 13 local government areas we have to observe suspicious cases and to make for accessibility and nearness. Now, the governor also had to establish isolation centers in each of the 3 zones, including the one at the capital city. When there is a case that is observed that appears to be, by all indications, that person or the suspect will now be taken to these isolation centers. And that was what we did. And of course, the governor had to furnish them. Of course, the governor immediately started building for Alex Equipment Federal Teaching Hospital, a complex that is the best single hospital complex in Nigeria. They came from Abuja, they confirmed it. I'm not exaggerating. And this complex is 400 seating capacity bed with a lot of facilities. The governor just handed over to FETA, and part of the function will be to address issues of COVID-19. Now, in the second wave came. The governor also had to really call stakeholders to address them, and structures were further reactivated. And of course, we have law, coronavirus and related matters, where the governor is empowered to make regulations, which once he does make it, it becomes a law and binding that must be enforced. And so, but as it is, we emphasize more on precautionary measures. We don't emphasize more on lockdown, as it were, because of the adverse economic impact or implication of locking down completely. And so this sensitization, a committee has been set up, of course, community, local government, state level, to go to the people and begin to tell them about the implication, of course, to also let them know that we have facilities that they can really take advantage of to sort out issues of COVID-19.
Honorable Commissioner, is how are the people reacting? How are they responding to the advisories, the safety protocols that have been recommended at the federal level and that are supposed to be activated and actioned at the state level? How are the people receiving all of the communication that you're sending out? How are they reacting? How are they taking it all on board?
Are they all wearing masks?
Yes, if I don't tell you what we have done, you will not appreciate the reaction very well. If I tell you the reaction is positive, you will not appreciate until I lay the foundation. So it's the foundation that I have laid. So what is the reaction of the people? I can say so far, so good. It is not too poor. What we have done is to use our room, our radio room, which we call situation room, to really, on daily basis, through jingles, announcements, sensitization programs, advocacies, let the people know. And the reaction has been very positive. But, of course, it cannot be 100%. Some people still do not believe that COVID-19 is a reality. One of the problems is the effect or the impact of social media to the society. Of course, ignorance is also one of the issues. But I can tell you that so far we have a minimal case of fatality, have a minimal case of active COVID-19. Okay, so it goes to show by that there is high response to the regulations or compliance to the regulations on COVID-19.
Now, another challenge that a number of people would look at now is, okay, so this is the second wave, and we're already considering getting vaccines and all of that. The federal government has talked about the fact that it is the responsibility of the states to provide the storage capacities and all those things. What's the plan of the Ebonyi state government to provide that cold chain facilities that will be used to ensure that the integrity of those medications remain?
Yeah, even though health is in the concurrent list, our governor does believe that whatever policies and programs he does make in Ebonyi State should not for any reason be inconsistent with that of the federal government, talking about the Presidential Task Force. And so we have always collaborated completely and comprehensively. Now, I did tell you that the governor did establish COVID-19 centers, including isolation center, treatment center, observation center. And the governor also does, from time to time, procure some of these medical facilities, including hand sanitizers, face masks, and all of them. And the idea of the governor is that government needs to really throw its weight in ensuring that the people have access to some of these facilities. Churches, that is worship centers, markets, commercial activities going on, that the people within such places should have access, at least on a minimum basis, to the facilities that will help them be safe from the scourge of COVID-19.
No, I'm talking about the storage capacity, storage facilities for the vaccines when they come.
Yeah, I also told you that we have COVID-19 centers, and these centers are very comprehensive in their content. So we have storage facilities, even though I'm not a commissioner for health, as to know all the technical languages. But the center is such that we have a storage, room. We have so many facilities within the place. And so the governor is actually prepared, so much prepared. Of course, don't forget, the Presidential Task Force gave him an award as ambassador, COVID-19 Ambassador of the Year, given his role in ensuring the protection and the safety of the people of Ebonyi State from the scourge of COVID-19.
Okay, interestingly, Honorable Commissioner, even though Alera said we have talked enough about COVID all day, but then it's really a matter of life and death, as the United Nations has made known. How significantly, how severely did the COVID-19, has COVID-19 affected lives and livelihood in Ebonyi State?
Yeah, like I did say, even though I don't have the details, the first wave, second wave, first wave was very minimal. Ebonyi State case was not as hard as other states. brought about by the preparedness, the proactiveness of the governor, and the fact that he did establish some facilities. And of course, the sensitization process, a comprehensive structure we have on ground to really help to move, to get some of these things done. Then in the second wave, I also know that the case is very minimal because we watch it on the screen. We also liaise with the Minister of Health. And the fatality, of course, is minimum, extremely minimal compared to other states.
Okay, let's look at the economy of Ebonyi State. There's no doubt COVID-19 hit the whole world, not just Nigeria, hit the whole world. But let's say we're all trying to get a grip now and move on as best we can in the circumstances. What is the case with Ebonyi State? How hard hit were you by the pandemic, and how are you coping with it?
As a matter of fact, COVID-19 actually did impact on the economy, socio-economic activities of the state in the first wave. And of course, in the second wave, understandably, we didn't lock down completely. And so it wouldn't be as hard as that of the first wave. But what the governor did was to really look at the budget we have, to increase the funding for health, especially COVID-19. And in the 2021 budget, which has been passed and signed as a law by the governor prioritizes health, especially the funding of COVID-19. And of course, human capital development, education. These are the three key priority sectors, three major key. And the idea of the governor is that in the wake of this COVID-19, with this attendant economic crisis, that we need to do something differently to look at the health of the people of Ebonyi State. So what did he do? The governor continued the construction of a college of medicine that will be the biggest in Africa. Whatever I say, you go and investigate it. Now, this college of medicine, we have a dialysis center, the only in Africa. This dialysis center, you cannot find it anywhere in Nigeria, in Africa. It's going to be the only one. Now, if you see this complex, it's just a world-class complex. Now, it is set to handle issues of terminal diseases, including liver problems, heart problems, lung problems, even blood problems. And a lot of money has been injected. Of course, part of the system will also handle some emergency cases of COVID-19. And now, apart from that, the governor also had to really put in place the primary health care facilities. In each of the ward, we have effectively functioning primary health care facilities. The idea of the governor is that if there is any case, whether a health matter or whatsoever, somebody should have to take care of the patient and take the person straight to the primary health care facilities we have. And in some cases, the person can be taken to the secondary healthcare facility. Now, that's why the governor also had to ensure the functioning of the secondary healthcare facilities. Every local government has a general hospital. In some cases, constructed by the governor. In other cases, furnished by the governor. And they are working. Some of them are also part of the centers for COVID-19 Center of Excellence. And now, the governor is also doing a lot in the area of tertiary healthcare delivery. Like I did tell you, we have a virology center that the governor came upon coming. He now built immediately to tackle issue of viral Lassa fever. And now, the governor also had to build what is called College or School of Nursing and Midwifery. The idea of the governor is that the capacity of nurses must be raised. The capacity of midwives must be raised, not only within Ebonyi State, but even outside the shores of the state, they can come and have capacity. Don't forget, the governor attracted a military hospital, a referral hospital, which is going to be the biggest in the Southeast military hospital. And these are the medical facilities or health facilities that will help to attend to issues of health. Of course, COVID-19 inclusive. This is what the governor has done in the area of health. Now, in order to further ensure that this scourge does not affect the economy of the state, the governor had to continue the construction of a shopping mall that will be the biggest shopping mall in Africa. It sounds incredibly laughable. But in Africa, if you appreciate the credibility of Mr. Bruce, the owner of Silverbed, he confirmed. He said he has traveled far and wide. That he has never seen a mall as big as this, having about 6,000 modern shops.
Is it ready now?
It is about 95% completion. How I wish the visual is on, you would have seen it. And I can tell you that this shopping mall is for the enhancement of the economy of the state. Now, we have an international market where marketers that used to stay in slums in the name of market have been relocated to a world-class international market. This international market is the biggest.
What's this market called?
International market. It is located along the Trans-Sahara Highway, linking towards Cross River. Towards Cameroon from Cross River.
In what state? I'm sorry, in what city?
In the capital city of Ebonyi State, Abakaliki.
Okay.
Oh, I may have to describe the international market. As you are entering Ebonyi State from Enugu, you'll fly through 6 good flyovers before you link, a straight road, before you link to that Trans-Sahara Highway. You get the market by the left. And once the bridge linking to between Cameroon and Cross River is done, that's an African road anyway, you can see that it is fully an international market. Now, what am I saying? These are economic facilities the governor is building. Do you know the governor is building an international airport that is fashioned after Lagos and Abuja in terms of size? It's sitting on 4x4 kilometer land and 3.5 kilometer tarmac or runway, which by all indications is one of the biggest, 3 biggest in Nigeria. These are economic facilities the governor is building. Now, the governor is also mindful of the need for investors to have Ebonyi as a safe haven. So that, because private sector investment has a lot to do with the enhancement of economy of any given society. And so the governor decided to beautify the metropolis, the satellite towns, the rural communities. What did he do? He had to make Ebonyi State a global village through creation of network of road. Every local government has 25-kilometer road, minimum. And this was done, and is being done in concrete pavement. I'm sure you have not seen concrete pavement. The one that Dangote is doing in Lagos. Ebonyi State government is the first government in the history of Nigeria to start it. That is because the governor, on going to US, saw this concept as an engineer, a passionate engineer. He had to introduce it. Now, that pavement is to last for 50 years. Now, we have a total of no less than 800-kilometer road done by the governor, federal government road. Now he's dualizing, whether you're coming from Enugu to Ebonyi, Abia to Ebonyi, Cross River to Ebonyi, Benue to Ebonyi. You are going to cruise in a wonderful road as if you're on air. And this road is being dualized by the governor.
Okay.
Now, what did the governor do? The governor had to link up these chains of roads, especially the major junctions, with wonderful, strong, virile flyovers. That's a beauty to behold. If you go there in the evening, wow, you say, am I in
What would be
in
interesting,
Dubai?
Honorable Commissioner, in all of this is, how does this impact on the ease of doing business?
Fantastic.
In Ebonyi State?
Fantastic.
Because it's about lives, yes, but it's more about livelihoods now, because you need good livelihoods to stay alive. So how do all these impact on ease of doing business, especially government agencies in Ebonyi?
Yeah.
By the way, before you answer that question, is the market ready?
The market is ready.
The international market?
It's being used now.
It's being used. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How does it impact on the livelihood of the people? The governor does believe that economic development is all there is for a place to develop. He does emphasize and differentiate between economic growth and economic development. Yes, you can be a rich nation, which is actually the bane in Nigeria. You can be a rich nation, yet the human persons are not having something on their table. They are not self-reliant. They are not self-sufficient. There is no food security. So what has the governor done to actualize this? With all these environments curated and economic facilities curated, the governor is pumping or funding the issue of human capital development to drive the environment. What did he do? In the area of education, he had to really establish what is called vocational college that's aimed at harvesting our technicians, those villagers, street, technicians, artisans and craftsmen. And they are given scholarship to go into vocational college for a period of not less than 2 years or no more than 4 years to get certification and more knowledge, skills to develop themselves. And after that, the governor does empower them. So they will use this environment, they will occupy these economic facilities, and they will have the wherewithal, the mental empowerment to drive the environment they are. Now, again, we have what is called King Davis Academy, which is actually aimed at harvesting the best brains. Those children in primary school, at the end of their primary school, they are going to secondary school. We look for the best 5 who are taking on examination dispassionately, and they are selected, whether you are the son or daughter of a governor or the poorest person in the society. Once you pass, you are given scholarship. You undergo this King Davis Academy, and you are, as a gifted child, you are given scholarship. You are given all the attention, clothing, even holidays will be borne by the government. That is to raise the human capital. Now, let me go straight to empowerment, because after creation of this environment, the governor thinks that people should be empowered to have their destiny. So the governor decided to be empowering people. In fact, the NSAS program, came, and the governor had to roll out 3 billion. That one is going on now. For every person, all categories of people, whether those that participated in the protest or those that are in the house, because we're all casualties of NSAS. So you have opportunity, whether you're a civil servant or a journalist, to access the 3 billion. Can be 500,000, 1 million and above, depending on your business plan. That is going on. Again, the governor had to also look at civil servants, say, yes, you need a second address. Yes, the white-collar job they pay is too small.
How many people have benefited from this 3 billion naira you talked about?
The process is ongoing. That's what I said.
Yeah, I know, but how many so far? How many?
So far, applicants should be more than, I wouldn't say for sure, but as at the last time I met with the SA on SME, it was going to up to 2,000 number of people that applied. But I'm sure that was in November, December when I asked him.
So the money they haven't begun to receive the money yet?
As I speak with you, they are being processed to part of evaluation and assessment to go into trading. I think the SME said it's going to be by visual training in assessment because of COVID-19, because their number is so much. So in a short while, this NSAS empowerment scheme, the funding will commence. Now,
so these are the infrastructural developments you're talking about?
Just the smallest, the minutest of them. Now, I want to say that the governor also looked at civil servants and felt they should also benefit from the empowerment program. So the governor gave them a facility, a loan of 4 billion. That was three years ago, last year. And this 4 billion, they have assessed it. Now, this is different from other empowerment programs. 2 years ago, I was commissioner for human capital development. The governor gave 750 million naira for the empowerment of 3,000 number youths, 250,000 each. I came to Lagos here. I rolled out on behalf of the governor 130 million naira after training 520 Ebonyans who were in the street hawking. We called that scheme Street to Skill Empowerment Program, and they were giving 130 million. And so, what am I saying?
Mr. Haji, we need to wind down now. So very quickly, how serious is that problem we used to hear about, I'm choosing my words advisedly, in the Southeast about the boy child not wanting to go to school? He prefers to be a trader, so he prefers to be mentored from when he's young, so that by the time he's 20, 21, he's already set up in business.
Yeah, it was one of the problems of the state. We had inferiority complex arising from where we were coming from, totally criminally neglected.
Is this still a problem?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is
it
it
was
still
a problem. It's not a problem now. What did the governor do? The governor had to take the bull by the horn. He introduced what is called an out-of-school children program that is aimed at getting compulsorily anybody that is seen a child of school age that is seen outside the school, get them to school, give them counseling.
Thank you,
give
Mr.
them
Haji.
free education, And of course, compulsory.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Oji Uchendu, Oji, Commissioner for Information, Ebonyi State. You were well picked for your job, I must say. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for staying with us. Sunrise will return after this break for the home stretch. Stay with us.